Hey, what's up guys? Tal's here with another Project Diablo 2 Season 10 video. Very glad to see so many players and such a healthy market this season. Definitely been fun running into you guys out there as well. So, I've built my first ever multi-shot Zon now. Definitely a flavor of the month with this new season, and I felt like I had to try it because of updates to the IAS frames on crossbows. They can shoot much faster than before, so you've probably seen a lot of Bariza Zons out there, which are very strong and, my favorite, cost effective. But I've got a crafted version of the build, which is decidedly not budget, and I'd still like to show it off. So I'll go over the story behind the weapon and the rest of the build, but first I'll share these loot highlights I've collected so far, starting with an incredibly nervy slam of a Dclone claw dropped by my buddy, and he trusted me with it. So as always, hope you guys enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll get right into it. So here it is, the Dclone Claw that my buddy Mighty dropped on his Fireclaw Werebear. He's running a sick 3 frames per attack build with Ghost Flame, and actually dropped this on a tier 1 kill, so not jealous at all, GG man. Whirlwind Sins can use this claw for the amp damage, but one 6 slam I've seen on this was actually minus poison res, because Whirlwind Sins this season seem to be focusing on venom damage. Of course a big enhanced damage slam too, and so we are going with a puzzle box first. Ah, one socket. Not the best start, but of course, the important part comes next. This is what we're here for. I can't believe he's trusting me with this, but here we go. Position in the cube is so important, of course. I'm just nervous. Here it goes. It lived. It lived, it lived, it lived. And ARED! 2 demons. Still GG. It didn't get cast rate. Congrats, man. Actually, I was so nervous I even dropped it on the ground by accident. ARED is nice. Prefer it on the weapon, of course, but still adds damage, so pretty cool. Here we've got my +4 Warcries and 81 life amulet that I slammed and I'm using on my Warcry barb now. So this is the moment where I hit the +1 on that. So +5 81 life amulet. Absolutely sick. So here's my 2 max all res high lords that I actually bought this for I think 7 high runes at the time. So big risk that I was taking on it. Pretty obsessed with desecrating amulets at this point in the season. And so I went for it. And another 2 all skill. Kind of on fire at this point. Obviously this is a highlight video though, but this is a 2 fire 20 FCR amulet and another +1. So a 320 with some nice res. Here's a cheeky little 5 faster hit recovery, 5 all res small charm that I found as well. And now we've got a giant skull with 79 ED, and now it's got 3 sockets, baby. Alright, so this was actually a big impetus for me creating my multi-shot Zon. And so we'll start this story off in the trade window. So what you're seeing here are some GG jewels. This Zon posted on the trade site that he had a 572 ED 6 open socket Colossus crossbow. So what we're discussing now is actually the deal where I'll provide this really great enhanced damage, min max and minus requirements jewel, plus a mirror, plus a small fee of 5 high runes, in addition to his jewels to complete the crossbow. So there it is, the completed version, and now I get to mirror it. Obviously a huge trade. This is something where all of the currency I've made up to this point in the season really pretty much went into this, right? And so when you mirror it, you've got a black and a white version. Left it up to him. Now we can get into my white version of it. So here's my crossbow. That's the story behind that. And multi-shots on, like other physical builds, really get made by the weapon, right? So here the 1172 maximum damage on it, 45 IAS, some crazy jewels, the -15 requirements for just a lower strength requirement on it also. Super great. So happy to have been able to do that. Alright, so we'll take a closer look at the Amazon now, starting with, of course, the weapon. So it's actually called Storm Stinger. It's a MF craft, actually, so it's a bountiful craft on it. That's why it's got the 28 MF, but those still roll high enhanced damage rolls, and so that's how this one's able to reach 806 total with the jewels inside. It's got the 45 IS, etc., that you saw earlier. 3-socket giant skull now has with the 79 base, it's also got 3 ED and min-max damage jewels on it for 7 to 35 damage on top. Super GG there. Of course, my 74 ED High Lords as well. Gotta use it. Gotta use it. So these bolts were probably like the third or fourth bolts that I actually slammed. So bolts really only start showing up on my radar once I started playing this on. So pretty lucky to have been able to get ED and Deadly Strike and then slam additional ED on top. So 100 ED, 20 Deadly Strike, really the main point of these. Could be improved, but pretty happy with it at the moment. This armor that I bought, it came CBF and 1 socket. Obviously a lot of other great stuff on it also. It's 193 base ED, so it's a really nice roll. So 193 ED, 97 life, some fire res, 10 PDR, so perfect roll on the safety craft itself, and then obviously CBF. Unfortunate 1 socket, otherwise this would be worth a whole lot. But inside it is just a 32 ED, 15 IAS jewel. So that together with my NOS coil, which I just have a random MF slammed one, gets me over. I need 92 total when my Merc Faith has a Fanat aura on. So the Soul Drainers, I'm using Pierce here. I do reach, okay, so I've got level 98 Pierce. I think with BO or with Battle Command, I reach 100 with that. But not a huge difference, honestly, 98 versus 100. I'm using a Wisp Projector, 15 Fire Res Slam. You'll see my res aren't actually capped. It's pretty difficult on this build, to be honest, but in the maps that I'm running now, it's really safe just with the coverage that my arrows give. So this ring was a brick. Very happy with the results though. So it's got 10 FCR, which is nice when you're not running Fort, when you're summoning and BO and resummoning, like especially in like a map boss fight where your Valkyries are probably going to die a lot of the time. It's super nice. And then obviously the double damage roll, always great to see that in the ring. And then fat res, so that is I think 79 total res, which is great on a single ring, and obviously helps with some of the important res that I need also. Only 4 poison res, but again, that's totally fine when mapping. So my boot slot, you might be surprised to see just kind of a random slam Mermans here. Obviously stacking MF is nice and all, but most folks go for additional damage in this. But when I'm running T1s and T2s, it really doesn't matter so much. I'm one-shotting a majority of the monsters, and when I do need to add a second one, that's totally fine. What this helps a lot with is essentially my movement speed will let me determine how far I can run in between shots. So if I need to, it lets me almost keep up with my bolts actually. And so you'll see that in the, so that's what you see in the sewers map that I'm about to run. Yep, charms wise, I am running a Geeds, and then I've got a bunch of melee charms. Got 14 all res there, some 13 max damage charms that I'm pretty happy with having found this season. I usually don't find any of those, but I've got 2, which is always nice. And then I'm filling in some res and some other damage, some FHR. I did buy this 29 all res Annie, which I'm very happy with also. Really high rolls all around. And then I found this Amazon torch as well, so 5719, recent upgrade. Honestly, I was using one of these. I think I was using this 4419 prior to that. Merc wise, I'm using a Faith, 15 level 15 Faith bow. I found and slammed this 8 Might Templars as well, boxed for 2, 6 PDR, really nice. This Endario's Visage, also self-found and slammed. Laying of Hands, self-found slam. This rare belt, Same thing, self-found, and Marrow Walks also self-found. So yeah, skills-wise, I've got max multi-shot. I guess the passive tree is the more interesting one, where I've got max evade, max dodge. I do have maxed out Valkyrie, but it only reaches level 26, so technically I can take a few points off of that and still have 2, but it is nice to have them a little tanky. I'm putting points into Pierce and then the rest into Critical Strike. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, you want Critical Strike as high as you can, while still getting, you know, your high amount of Pierce. So my Deadly Strike is 53, my Critical Strike is 57. That can be improved for sure. But it's more for kind of speed running through maps, in which case I'm just not dying very much. It took me a while to get used to the build. I've never played multi-shot before, but at this point with the gear that I've got, I'm again just like kind of racing the bolts a little bit to see to see how fast I can clear T1s, and then T2s very similar, but T3s I'm more stutter stepping quite a lot, where it's like this, and you're getting coverage on the bolts, and you're probably hitting most things twice. Okay? So here's a T1 map. I'm going to run a sewers really quick, and this is going to be just under a 4-minute clear. You'll see I'm pretty much just one-shotting everything and racing the bolts through the map. So really fun to play. Hope it's entertaining to watch, and close this out. that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the updates and are having a good season as well. Let me know in the comments down below how y'all are doing, and I will catch you on the next one.